What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's been a while, but we are here. If you saw my community posts, I'm going to be doing a little bit of shovelware. Me and my friends love doing tier lists, and I thought I had a talk with the homie Keith, and he was like, maybe we can get some of these more basic tier lists done uh, on my lonesome because we want to stick to usually the musical ones and things of that nature, a little bit more unique. So we're going to be doing a bit of you know, like I said, shovelware. So we're gonna get through each of the Pokemon types. I'm going in order from favorite to least favorite. It's not like a pure 100% right list, but it's as close as I can get currently. So we're gonna start with my favorite type being Bug, and I found this good tier list. Shout out to is there a person who made this? I don't know who made it. Is there it might be this person. Shout out to Lasqueria if they're the one that made this tier list. So we're gonna do these a little different. I'm not gonna rank every single bug type. I'm just gonna rank the ones that I enjoy the most. So they're mainly gonna be the full evolutions, but there will be some smaller evolutions. Maybe not for bug, I'll see, but later on down the line, they may get their own. For example, when I do the fire type one, Coco and Quilava are making a list because those Pokemon are just fantastic. But and also you see there's no megas and there's no legendaries. I mean, they have the Ultra Beasts. I don't really know what they're counted as. Are they legendaries? I'll after this I'll look at a legendaries tier list and see if they're on there. If not, we'll rank them separately. But we're gonna rank megas, mythicals, legendaries, and ultra beasts separately. So we're just gonna go through like the base game ons, and without further ado, let's get things started with Butterfree. Butterfree is one of the Generation 1 OGs. It is bug flying, it's got compound eyes, it has a decent moveset, and then Gen 8 it got a Gigantamax form with a really good move. But in terms of using regular Butterfree, it's fine, but I do believe it is the worst of the bug flying types. Pretty much. So I'm gonna start, even though it sucks, I'm gonna start Butterfree in the C tier, and also I apologize if it's zoomed out a little too much. I wanted to get the list and all of the Pokemon together, so it's not gonna be as zoomed in, but whenever I'm done, we can zoom in and take a closer look. Butterfree is going into the C tier. Beedrill, this may be, I wouldn't say nostalgic because I was literally a tiny child when Red and Blue came out, and I didn't even get into Pokemon until Black and White, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver, really. But I was in middle school when I got into Pokemon. I didn't play it throughout elementary school. I had a Game Boy. I had no Pokemon games on it. I had Finding Nemo, Crash, Purple, and Namco Museum. I was not a Nintendo guy. I grew up playing sports and racing games. I still do play sports and racing games, but I've expanded my gaming palette and have included Nintendo now, and they're goats. But Beedrill's in the S tier. I absolutely adore Beedrill. I love bees, wasps, all that kind of thing. Beedrill has been one of my favorites for a long time. It's not even that good. It's bug types in general are pretty trash. There's not a lot of great bug types. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of bangers on this list, but they have on average the lowest stats total. Beedrill has decent speed, okay defense. It's got decent attack as well. It doesn't really have a fantastic moveset, but the Mega Beedrill slaps. But Beedrill, this is my favorites, not the best, my favorites. So I love Beedrill. Beedrill's a goat. Parasect's interesting. I'm gonna put Parasect in the B tier. It's a solid bug type. It's very creepy. It's got a grass typing along with its bug typing. It's like a parasitic crab. It's freaky. It's interesting. All the Pokedex descriptions talk about how the bulb on the back is actually controlling the creature. You can see because it has all these glazed out eyes. It's kind of creepy. I wish it was also better. It's pretty trash. It has a quad weakness to flying and fire. Not good. It also is weak to what? Rock, ice. Is that it? Rock and ice? There's probably one more I'm missing. Whatever. We'll come back to that maybe. But Yeah, Parasect, it's kind of just there. I've never really used one. I should probably use a Parasect in a playthrough one day. But nevertheless, Parasect goes into the B tier. Venomoth is another bug poison type, and I'm gonna put Venomoth in A. Venomoth is another one of my favorites. It is one of Koga's Pokemon along with his Ariados, which we'll get to later on. But Venomoth gets Quiver Dance. It's got a really nice design. I love the purple color. And again, another Gen 1 OG um, bug type. That typing is interesting and it's cool. It's a lot of bug types are really underrated. Like no one really talks about bug types a lot because they do get outshadowed by a lot of the other types. But bugs are always extremely interesting. I like bugs in real life too. Bugs are the creepy crawlies. I don't mind them. They're very cool. Scyther. Scyther, I'm gonna put in B, but it's gonna be ahead of Parasect. Again, it's a bug flying type with not a lot of flying coverage. Gets like wing attack and aerial ace, which are good, but it's very fast. It hits hard. Um, it does get an evolution, which we'll talk about in a bit, which is why I put it in B because I think the evolution's a bit cooler. I think both of the evolutions are a little bit cooler, but I love Scyther. It's got the cool design. It looks menacing. It's got the, like I said, the sights, the claws. It's got a mean face. It's ready to throw down and it's ready for business, and it will give you hands. Next up is going to be Pinsir. I'm going to be honest, Pinsir is pretty forgettable. Pinsir, actually, I think I like a listen better. Pinsir's pretty forgettable. Keith has asked me a lot about my opinions on Pinsir every now and then. For like when we did our definitive teams for each game, he's like when I picked Scyther instead of Beedrill, because Scyther's probably just the best all-around bug type in Gen 1 for my taste. With that logic, I probably should have picked Venomoth, but it's neither here nor there. But Pinsir is just it's supposed to be the counterpart to Heracross, and Heracross is just far cooler than Pinsir. Pinsir is cool. It does get I do prefer Mega Pinsir over Mega Heracross though. I don't really like Mega Heracross. I think it looks kind of silly, kind of goofy. But Pinsir is just it's one of the it's not I wouldn't say it's as forgettable as some other bug types, but it's just not that interesting to me. It gets some okay coverage. It's a pure bug type. It has less attack than Heracross, but more defense. So if you like a more defensive playstyle with bug types, go for it. But for me, it's just not. It's just not me. But speaking of, for me, we have Ledian. Ledian is so fantastic. Love Ledian. It's my channel mascot for a reason. I wanted to pick a channel mascot that represents the type I love the most, but not be too mainstream with it. So I went with Ledian. Ledian has such a cool design. Um, it's the lady, it's the cool lady, but it looks like a Power Ranger, like a Kamen Rider kind of thing. And good lord, it is awful. It's terrible. It has like base 40 attack. It has decent defenses, but it has no speed, no special attack. It's terrible. It needs some loving. It needs some kind of evolution. It needed a mega. It needs some kind of regional form. It needs a convergent. It needs something. Ladian deserves more love because there's so much untapped potential. It's got Iron Fist and the Elemental Punches. It can have dual screens. It can have Baton Pass, some setup moves. It's good, but its stats just leave so much to be desired. It's just not. It's just not it. But in design wise, I love it. I love its character. It's adorable. I love Ledian. If that wasn't to be made aware enough. Next we have Ariados. Ariados is another B tier mon, another one of Koga's members, another bug poison type. Is this our first Spider-Mon? I believe so. Unless you want to count Kingler being a spider crab, which I don't count. Um, yeah, Ariados is our first spider. It's got a cool design. I love the black and purple, uh, and the red. It's got a really good color scheme. It's another decent attacker. It's not too fast. It's another just mid to low stat bug type Pokemon. But it gets some cool moves. It gets Shadow Sneak too, which it'd be cool if they made like a ghostly spider in another evolution, but they didn't. Um, but Ariados is it's a lot of, it's a fun Pokemon. Again, never really used it. There's a lot of bug types I haven't used. I'll have to use those in a bug playthrough one day. Next up is gonna be where is it? Fortress. Fortress is Gonna go in between Scyther, I mean Pinsir, not Scyther. Scyther, Pinsir. Ugh. Fortress is a tank. Bug Steel, just like Scizor. A lot of resistances. It has a quad weakness to fire, but that's one of, if not its only weakness. I believe fire is that Bug Steel's only weakness? And maybe it's a very resistant type. It doesn't like resist. It does resist a lot actually. It's a solid type, but it's just going to be your defensive mon. Me personally, it's got an okay design, and I'm not much of a defensive Pokemon user. I do like using defensive Pokemon. I like Umbreon. I like using Lugia. Um, I like Latios more than Latios. I do like tanking it up, but I mean, you got your setup with Stealth Rock Spikes. You got Rapid Spin, you got Explosion, Gyro Ball. I mean, it's fine, but like I said, I'm not much of a defensive Pokemon user at all. Scizor is gonna go in. That's a right click. Scizor's going into A tier, just above Venomoth. I don't think Scizor is S tier, which is kind of crazy to me. It's got a really cool design. It just ups the ante on Scyther. More defensive, Bug Steel once again, fantastic typing. But I don't know if it just appeals to me much anymore. I've used throughout the years Scizor. I used it a lot. Not much in playthroughs, but when I wasn't when I was first getting into Pokemon, not really into the breeding and didn't really have any friends to trade with, I played Pokemon Showdown, and I was a bad boy who Pokegyn, but I didn't Pokegyn anything like illegal or dumb or lame. I would just Pokegyn them into like Black and White or into my emulators and just use a Scizor finally. So, but it's a fantastic design. It's very intimidating. It's a fun time. I do prefer the regular Scizor over Mega Scizor. I think Mega Scizor is the definition of an over design. The clamps, they get way they're just too much. It's too much. But like I said, Megas are for another day. Shuckle. Shuckle is a fan favorite. But I'm not one of his fans. I don't really like Shuckle. It's a gimmick mon. I don't mind gimmick mons, but Shuckle is I think it's kind of lame. It's just like this little noodle in a shell. Um, Bug Rock's alright. It has monstrous defenses, but no HP to go for that defense. It has like 200 defense with like 10 HP. So it's just I don't really like it, and I've never really seen like the power trick work on it at all. Contrary with Curse, lowering its attack and raising its defenses is good. So that's interesting. Or what is it? Is it no? It's not Curse. It's a contrary Curse. Because Curse raises. It's contrary something. I don't know. I don't think it's Curse, though. No, it's contrary Shell Smash. That's what it is. Lowering its attack and special attack by 2 stages, but raising its defense and special defense. So, it is what it is. Shuckle, like I said, it's a big meme in the community. I'm just not too fond of it. Heracross, however, I am fond of. Heracross is going to go into the A tier just behind Scizor. So Heracross is a beast. Heracross is a monster. It is bug fighting, first bug fighting type, aka a type Ledian should have, but that's neither here nor there. Um, Heracross has monstrous attack. I think it's 120 base. It's got close combat. Special move at the time, Mega Horn, which was the best bug type move by far, and still probably is one of the best ones. Even though I think Leech Life and Bug Buzz are overall better, but Heracross is great. It's got a really cool design. I love the dark blue color. The shiny is a bright pink. I do definitely prefer the dark blue. And I like the more the male stag beetle horns compared to the little heart, but it's nice. And Ash had a Heracross. Was it hat? No, it was Go. Go had a Heracross that had a love interest with the Pinsir. And that was adorable. But yeah, I love Heracross. It's got great abilities. It has Moxie and God, I forgot the other one. It's not Intimidate. But you get the picture. I run Choice Scarf Moxie on Showdown for Heracross, and it will clean you up. Definitely. Next up is gonna be Beautifly. Beautifly is gonna go. I keep right clicking. Beautifly is gonna go right above Butterfree. I definitely prefer it over Butterfree. I think its stats are a little bit better, a bit more offensive. And I like its design too. Beautifly has Buda in its name for a reason. It's got a wonderful color scheme, these big blue eyes, and definitely is the better of the bug types that were introduced in Gen 3 alongside with it. And that's referring to Dustox. We'll talk about that in a sec. But another bug flying type, early game. It's a fun use. I've used it a couple times. It is very interesting. Well, not too interesting because it is at the end of the day a bug flying type. Pretty basic, but nevertheless, it's a nice looking Pokemon, good design, and it gets the job done. Dustox is going to D tier. I don't like Dustox whatsoever. Um, Dustox is not for me. It has no offenses and not enough defenses to be defensive. Bug Poison is a it's not the best typing. You have a good amount of weaknesses in flying, fire, ice, ground, because I don't think it has levitate, even though it flies around. It's weak to psychic, but you say it's weak to psychic, then that means you can use this bug typing. Not really, because it's slow and doesn't hit hard enough. It's got an okay design. It does look relatively intimidating, but it just I don't like it. Its wings look strange. It just doesn't battle well whatsoever. It's just not a great Pokemon. Next up is Masquerain. Masquerain is gonna go in between Scyther and the Ariados. Masquerain is another bug flying type introduced in Gen 3. Surskit is pre Evo, I believe is bug water. It'd be really cool if it kept the bug water typing, but alas. But it's got Intimidate, it's got a bit more offenses. But Intimidate is a very handy ability. Even though looking at it, I'd say Dustox looks more intimidating than Masquerain. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with its wings. Maybe that because if you look at it, it looks like maybe if it puts them together, it makes this weird these eyes like a moth or a dragonfly eyes on it. I don't know how it would really work to intimidate someone, but apparently it does. So that is Masquerain ranked. Like I said, it really would have been awesome to keep a nice bug water type special attacker, but that didn't happen, which is very unfortunate. But we're gonna move on to Ninjask. Ninjask is tough. I don't really know what I think about Ninjask, to be honest. It's extremely fast, but it's not really used in a way. It's literally just a baton passer. The reason baton pass is the way it is because of Ninjask back in Gen 3, making baton pass chains super annoying to go against. I think I'm gonna put it in between Masquerade and Scyther. Another fine bug type, but it doesn't really move the needle much. It's very fast, speed boost. It's got some decent attack, so aerial aces and X scissors will hit pretty hard, but it's just been reduced to a baton passer at this point. We don't really use it for its attacking capabilities, which is unfortunate. But I've used Ninjas before. It is fun, but it does kind of just fall under the bug flying umbrella. If you have a Pokeball in your bag and an extra space in your party, when you evolve Nincada into the Ninjask, you get a Shedinja. Shedinja is another gimmick Pokemon, but unlike Shuckle, I think it does its gimmick pretty well. I like Shedinja. Shedinja is gonna go just behind Venomoth. Shedinja's gimmick is Wonder Guard. It only has 1 HP, but if the attack is not super effective, it does nothing. Literally nothing. But the gimmick will backfire, especially if there's entry hazards or it gets statused, weather, anything will knock it out. So you have to be very careful with it. But it gets Swords Dance, Shadow Sneak, it gets X Scissor. It can do damage if someone isn't ready for it. And it's got an interesting design. It's just like the cicada husks that get left around. It's got like a little kind of halo above its head looking thing. It's interesting. It's a very unique Pokemon, and that's what gives it a little boost for me is its uniqueness. So we have a double, not quite a double feature here, but we have Volbeat in D tier and Illumise is in F tier. I think Illumise is definitely my least favorite fully evolved bug type. It's completely useless. Volbeat I'll put ahead of it just because of it gets the fact that it gets tail glow. I know Keith did a Volbeat solo run of Emerald, I think last year or something. I don't even know how it goes. Keith, you're gonna have to let me know. Is that file still around? And if so, where are you in the game? Because I know you're on the struggle bus. I did a Delcatty solo run with you, and I was out of it after I couldn't beat Roxanne. I give up easily sometimes. But um yeah, Volbeat and Illumise are just not good. They're very forgettable and just not good. The only reason I used Illumise was Pokemon Y because it was one of the Pokemon that you caught off rip for Sweet Scent, so you could grind Horde shinies and hordes in general. So the less said about them, the better. Next up is Armaldo, our first bug type fossil Pokemon. Yes, Armaldo is cool as hell. It's gonna go just behind Heracross in the A tier. Bug Rock, again, just like Shuckle, but it's much more offensive. It's got a sick design, really cool color scheme. Kind of a derpy face, but the blue with the black and the white, and he's like the little feathers on its neck. It gets the good bug type moves of X Scissor. It gets Stone Edge and Rock Slide for coverage. It's got decent defenses, good ability in Shell Armor, no crits, always handy. I love Armaldo. It's one of my favorite fossils. I'd say it's in the top five. I'd probably put it around four ish, but Armaldo is a fun use. It's part of my Definitive Emerald team, which I do have the Anorith now in my playthrough, so that's going to be a nice, fun member to the team. Now we move on to Gen 4. We have another fan favorite in Cricketune. I'm going to put Cricketune just ahead. No, not Scyther. Calm down there. I'll put it above Ninjas, though. I love Cricketune. Another mon with sort of weak stats, but it's just one of those mons you love. It's got the cool cry. It's like a musical cricket. It like plays with its little front pincers. Are those pincers? His little arms. He can play it on his other arm like a violin. It's a cool Pokemon. It's got, like I said, pretty mid stats, but it's a fan favorite. And unlike the others, I am one of those fans. It's got the red and black, the yellow. Nice early game Pokemon with Kricketot. It's a fun Pokemon. It's a really good one. It's the first alpha in Legends Arceus you face as well. So obviously, the devs like it as well for it to be the very first alpha you face. Just a nice early game start. And it's got good stats for the early to mid game. Base 80, I want to say, for its attacking stats. So it can do work. It can do work for sure early on. Moving on, we have Wormadam. I'm going to put Wormadam just in front of Butterfree. Yeah, that's fine. Wormadam is okay. I definitely believe the Trash Cloak is its best. That's the Bug Steel version of it. It's Bug Grass, Bug Ground, and which is Sandy Cloak, and Bug Steel, which is the Trash Cloak. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen the Bug Grass one and the Bug Steel one. I have never in my life seen anyone use the Sandy Cloak version. So next time I play through BDSP, I may have to use a Sandy Cloak Wormadam. But it's got pretty underrated stats. Let me pull up another window. It should be good because I'm doing a window capture. But Wormadam, yeah, it's a plant cloak, sandy cloak, trash cloak. It's yeah, bug grass, bug ground, bug steel. Do they have different stats? They do. Okay, so plant cloak has 79 special attack, 105 special defense. The Sandy Cloak has 105 regular defense, and instead of 79 special attack, it has 79 physical attack. They all have 36 speed, and the Trash Cloak is 95 defense, 95 special defense, and 69 on both attacks. Um, yeah, but yeah, your Plant Cloak is just weak to everything. Like I say, yeah, Trash Cloak's only weak to fire and resists normal, bug, steel, grass, psychic, ice, dragon, and fairy now. So it's a really good type combination. Only one weakness. A lot of things that are weak to the bug is weak to, like flying and rock, are made neutral for the steel typing. And nowadays they have decent moves. Like you'll get the only one you get is Fissure for Sandy Cloak, which is unfortunate. But I mean, the Grass Cloak gets Energy Ball, Bug Buzz, and Psychic. Those are three good moves, good coverage with Psychic. Two good stab options, Bug Buzz and Energy Ball. So maybe the Plant Cloak is better than I thought. You know what? I think I'm going to put it above Parasect instead. It's definitely better than Parasect in terms of a bug grass type. So yeah, Wormadam can sit there. Another underrated mon that not really people talk about. Now it's time for Mothim, which I believe, looking at the rest of the list, is not my favorite. It's my second favorite. My second favorite bug and flying type. That's going to go in front of Kricketune. I do like Mothim. Mothim's just a beefed up Beautifly. It's got a wonderful color scheme. That is, I forgot how that evolves. You need instead because your Burmy can either evolve into a Mothim or a Wormadam. So you would need to evolve it how, Sway? You gonna tell me? It's not gonna. It just says, oh, a male Burmy. Okay, so maybe female Burmy is Wormadam. I think that may be how it works. But a male Burmy at level 20 will get you a Mothim, and Wormadam is a female Burmy. Got you. And you get plant. I think it depends on where you. Yeah, what Burmy what biome Burmy evolves into. So yeah, but Mothim is another bug flying type. It's just kind of like which of the bug flying types you like more. Mothim's my second favorite. Are we about to move on to my favorite? We're not. We're gonna move on to Vespiquen. Vespiquen is a nice and defensive bug flying type. I think it's more of a fun defensive Pokemon than Fortress here. Um, it's got a couple of special moves: attack, defend, and heal order. It's got good defenses, decent attack, and it's got a really cool design. The only thing is, it is only female Combi. It's kind of like the female Salandit only gets Salazzle. Bug flying. It's a really cool Pokemon. I like the Queen Bee aesthetic. I love like I said, the bees get a really cool color scheme with the yellow and black. I like the honeycomb at the bottom, it's representing the hive. And like I said, attack, defend, and heal order are its special moves. It attacks, raises defense, and heals respectively, using little other worker combis, which is very interesting there. But now we're gonna move on to my favorite bug flying type, Yanmega. And Yanmega's going behind Beedrill in the S tier, but Yanmega's a beast. Air Slash, Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, Energy Ball, whatever, Speed Boost, high special, like plus base 100 plus special attack and 100 plus speed, I believe, like 90 speed. But it gets Speed Boost. It's got a sick design. Don't know why it's not Bug Dragon. It's a Dragonfly. I don't know why Flygon wasn't Bug Dragon. We need a Bug Dragon type Game Freak. What you call it? Stupid Dragapult could have been Bug Dragon as well, but you went Ghost, which makes sense. But this thing should be Bug Dragon, 100%. Change its typing in Gen 10, please and thank you. But and then you can give it like Dragon Pulse or something, and D-Dance to just break the game. But yeah, Mega looks sick. The dark green and red with its menacing eyes. It's got. It's just so cool. Definitely my go-to bug type if I'm doing a bug type in Gen 4. It's gonna be between Yanmega and Mothim, and I'm probably gonna take Yanmega like 9 times out of 10. The only reason I wouldn't would be to boredom. Now it's time for peak bug types. Gen 5 went crazy with the bug types, and it starts really good with Leavanny. Leavanny is another early game. It starts with Swaddle, and then Swadloon, and then Leavanny. Grass bug, but it gets super cool moves. It's got really good attack. It's got like X Scissor. It's got Leaf Blade. It's really cool. Berg, the gym leader, signature Pokemon. I love the Mantis look. It's got like the leaves guarding over its tail and midsection. It's a really good. Oh, good. That's unprofessional. It's a very good bug type. It's definitely it. I'd say it's not my favorite. It's tough to pick a favorite bug type in Gen 5. You look at the list down there. just undisputed bangers in Gen 5. And it goes on with Scolipede, which I'm going to put just in front of Leavanny. Scolipede is another monster. It's a huge bug poison type with great coverage. It gets like Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Bug X Scissor. It gets these weirdly like Rototiller, which I still don't know what that does. It does something with typing. I don't know. I have literally no idea what it does. But it also is another speed boost Pokemon. And given this thing speed boost with a Swords Dance boost, this thing can sweep easily. It's got another menacing design, a killer shiny with the red and light blue rings on it. Scolipede is another monstrous bug type. Gen 5, like I said, went crazy with the bug types. It continues with Crustle. Crustle is good. I'm not gonna lie. Pokemon Unite kind of made me hate Crustle. Crustle's a menace if you don't know in that game, with Shell Smash and Score Shield and Buddy Barrier. It's a pain in the ass to deal with. Nevertheless, it is a really cool Pokemon in the games. Dwebble is a Pokemon that I would borderline rank on here because it does look, it's a really fun design, but it didn't quite make the cut. But it's a good Pokemon, very defensive, good defense, okay special defense. Escavalier is a trade Evo in this game, kind of like its partner Excelgor down here. Escavalier is gonna go to the top of B tier. Bug Steel, just like Scizor, but it hits harder, I believe. It gets way better steel coverage. I don't think Scizor really gets any steel coverage other than Steel Wing. This thing will hit hard with Iron Head. I think it also has one of those shell armor abilities to negate critical hits. It's got a really cool design with like the Spartan helmet and the lance. It's basically just a where is it? That's Shelmet. Carablast. It's literally just a Carablast surrounded by this insanely cool armor. It was a very good competitive mon. It just hits so hard with its really good coverage. Excelgor is really good. Excelgor is sick. It's a two-born ninja. There's not much way you can get cooler than that. Insanely fast, like top 10, borderline, maybe even top 5 fastest Pokemon. It's got the look, the arms crossed, the ninja scarf flowing in the back. Um, kind of lacking on coverage. You get the usual bug. It's the mono bug type. You get the usual coverage of like bug and grass, but I don't really know what you get outside of that. I don't know if it gets like nasty plot. I don't know if it gets like I don't know, like Psychic or something, but Excelgor design wise kicks ass. Kicks so much ass. One of my favorite trainer classes would be the Ninja, kind of like Benny and Koga. Excelgor is going to be one of my aces, if not my ace on that team. It is insanely cool. And speaking of insanely cool, we have another one. We have Galvantula, which is going right behind it. Galvantula is the first ever bug electric type. It's got the compound eyes for that thunder. It's a very creepy, crawling looking Pokemon. Find it in the Charstone Cave with Joltik, which is one of the smallest Pokemon. But it's an electric tarantula. Galva, which is some kind of prefix for electricity, like the Galvanookles and Black Ops 2 zombies. And then Antula, Tarantula. So it just speaks to me. I've used Galvantula before. It's a really good Pokemon. Not quite the best bug electric type though. We'll get to that one later. Um, Next is Kevin. I mean Durant. Durant. I'm gonna put B tier's kind of clogging up. I don't know if we did. I love bug types. I don't think B is gonna be the most clogged tier. I will put it right in front of Mothim. Durant is another overlooked Pokemon. Overlooked, underlooked. I don't really know what the expression is. It's underrated. It's relatively fast and hits hard. Got that great bug steel typing. It's got like dig. I don't know. It might get Swords Dance, but I know it's got dig, Iron Head, and X Scissor. It hits hard. It's got a really cool mechanical ant design. I love it. It's kind of like Beedrill, where there's swarms of Beedrill. There'll be like a army of Durants, and I love its look. It's one of the most menacing Pokemon with those beaming red eyes. and it's got the little metal antenna. Durant's really cool, and definitely was on my mono bug team in X and Y, because X and Y is another gen that's just chock full of great bug types to use. So I use Scolipede and Durant in that playthrough. Oh, excuse me. And it made for a fun ride. So that is Durant wrapped up. We still have one more, I believe. Yeah, it's the GOAT, really. Volcarona is going just behind Ledian. It's going in front of Ledian. Ledian, I know you're my mascot, but it's Volcarona. Like, it's literally Volcarona. Volcarona is a bug fire type, which are two of my top 5 favorite types combined into one. And it is a Sun Moth. It was the original Quiver Dancer. Get a awesome signature move in Fiery Dance, which has decent power but raises your special attack quite frequently. It is everything you want in a bug type. It does evolve late though. Larvesta is a cool pre-evo, but it evolves at like level 58. It evolves really late, but that doesn't take away from how amazing this design is. People can say how bad bug types are and how basic they can be. That's true. But when you get a unique bug type, the designs are out of this world. Look again, Mega. Look at Excelgor, and look at Volcarona. Bug types can look cool. They don't just have to be your regular crickets and bees and beetles, moths, butterflies. They have some awesome looks to them, and Volcarona speaks volumes to it. Now, let's go into Gen 6. We have Vivillon. Vivillon, I believe, is going to go around. I think it's my favorite of the early game bug type Pokemon, other than Beedrill. Favorite of the bug flying types, early game. Um, it's got all these different unique designs based on the region of your game. They had the special Pokeball event one, which I don't think I still have because I was in my old file that got deleted because I had like Pokegen Pokemon I felt bad for using. I don't know why I just didn't Pokemon Bank the legit ones that I wanted. That's neither here nor there. But nevertheless, um, Vivillon, it has all these, like I said, all the cool colors. It's got the usual suspects. It's just a bug flying type. I hate to just say the same things over and over like I have in this video. I know I have. But like I said, when you get unique bug types, they bang. They're cool, but when they're basic, they kind of just fall in line, and it does get like the Hurricane, much more powerful version than like Air Slash, Quiver Dance. It's just the usual. And by the look of it, that's the only bug type they brought in Gen 6, which is a shame. I know you had great bug types scattered around the region, but man, I could use another bug type for Gen 6. Gen 7, moving on, we have Vikavolt. Vikavolt is literally a flying nuke. It hits hard. It is the top of A tier. Is it S? Is it S? Not quite. But Vikavolt, it's slow. A lot of Pokemon in Gen 7 were slow, but it is monstrously strong. It has like base 135, 140 special attack. Again, the usual suspects for the moves, but it hits hard. It's one of the totem Pokemon, I believe. Yeah, is it Ultra Sun and Moon or regular Sun and Moon? Because I know in one of the Sun and Moon games, it's Togedemaru is the totem Pokemon. But in the other game, it's Vikavolt. Let me see. Ultra. It says Ultra Sun. Fifth totem you fight in the main story. It doesn't really. This is the Sun and Moon wiki, but like. Yeah, it says Ultra. So I guess it's part of the Ultra games. So that is. Yeah, because I think in the first game it was Totem. What you call it? What is the name of that thing? Jesus. I don't know. I've lost all train of thought. Togedemaru in Sun and Moon, and then the next game it was Vikavolt, by the sound of it. But yeah, Vikavolt, sick design. Probably the best shiny type for bug types. Let me look at the list again. Yeah, probably the best shiny. It's silver and green. It looks amazing. Fantastic. Next up is Rabombi, criminally underrated. Criminally underrated. It's going above Excelgor. Bug Fairy is a great typing, and despite its looks, it's strong. Pollen Puff hits hard. Moonblast hits hard. It's fast. It's got good support moves. Rabombi is nice with it. Rabombi is another underrated mon, which is something I'd probably use in a Gen 7 bug run, which I need to do. I've never done a Gen 7 bug run. It's gonna have to happen. Um, but yeah, it is really cool. It's like I said, despite its looks, it is really strong. If I can bring up its um, stats real quick. Oh yeah, there's also a Totem Rabombi as well. Yeah, it's got Pollen Puff, Draining Kiss, Dazzling Gleam, Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz. It's got 95 special attack and 124 speed. Not a lot of defenses, 70 special defenses, alright, but it's fast and will hit hard. 95 special attack is nothing to sneeze at. I'll tell you that right now. So yeah, Rabombi is another one of the greats for bug types in Gen 7. Just keeps it up with Araquanid. Araquanid, I think I like a little bit more than Yanmega. Araquanid is another unique Pokemon with its water bubble ability, which not only is it no burn, it makes fire type moves weaker, which means even though it's bug water, normally it would be neutral with water bubble, it basically gives it a fire resistance instead of a neutrality. And it increases the power of your water type moves even before your stab boost. So this thing in like rain will sweep. It's not very fast. It's especially defensive, I believe. So if you can put some defense EVs into this thing with its attack, it's gonna wreck house with liquidations and X scissors. But it's just a really cool. I forgot. It's the what's it called? What's the spider it's based on called? Uh, because it does the same thing. It'll go across the water with the little bubble around its head so it can breathe. It is called the diving bell spider. That's right. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's got the long spindly legs, and it does get around water. Oh, its abdomen, not its head. So, but it will help it breathe underwater using the webs too. See, it's such a cool design, such a cool basis. But that's Araquanid, and last but not least for Gen 7, we have Golisopod. Blanked on its name. I like Golisopod a little bit less than Araquanid, but I like it more than Excelgor. I think that's a good spot for it. Another bug water type. It was the first user of First Impression, which is on switch in or beginning the battle. It's priority after that. After that, I don't even think it works. I think it's only just a one hit move based on whenever you come in, and that goes well with its signature ability, Emergency Exit, because it's based off of a Wimpod, which are just the most frightened and timid Pokemon out there, and then it eventually turns into this armored, shelled behemoth, seemingly based on like the Nautilus, I believe. That or I forgot the name of those. The isopod, the isopods. You've seen those sometimes at aquariums. They have the shell. They look like water roly polies, and you flip them over, and their legs they're creepy. But nevertheless, it takes all the design portions, just makes this big behemoth bug type. Guzma's big boy Ace, one of the few bug type trainers specialists in Pokemon. And that's Gen 7 wrapped up. We move on to Gen 8 with Orbeetle. Orbeetle is another great early game Pokemon. And this is going to be the first time where we put a Pokemon that isn't fully evolved on the list because Dottler is going to go right here in between Scolipede and Scizor. Dottler is super defensive, and the main reason I put it up here is the blue lights on its shell pulse and light up different colors at different times. It is cool, and I believe it or not, I think I like him more than Orbeetle. Believe it or not, I don't know if Dottler has any viability in competitive for like not fully evolved because I know it's got defense. Yeah, 80 defense, 80 special defense, but only 50 special attack and 30 speed. So Eviolite with this thing maybe, and some supporting moves. It gets the dual screens. So and Struggle Bug's lower special attack. So it could be, and it's got Trick Room, Psychic Terrain, uh, Ally Switch, Calm Mind. It can be a good support Pokemon if you want to use a not fully evolved defensive Pokemon. But Orbeetle's the final evolution. Gets a lot of special attack. Bug Psychic's a killer type combination. Just firing out Psyshock, Psychics, and Bug Buzzes galore. And it gets a G-Max where it becomes a freaking UFO. So that's a pleasant design choice there. If you don't know, I'm a sucker for aliens. I love aliens and extraterrestrial creatures and cryptids and all that. So Orbeetle definitely ticks the boxes for a Pokemon. But fun fact, I've never used an Orbeetle. I haven't used it yet. So I think I have a second playthrough of Sword going, and I'm going to use it. So I'll let you know how it is later on down the line. Next up, we have is what is your name? I know you're Sizzlipede. What are you? I am blanking on its name. Sizzlipede. Oh my god. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna be pissed. Go ahead. Make my day. Tell me what it is. Centiskorch. There we go. Fire type. It's a centipede. It's got this kind of samurai looking helmet. Great Pokemon. I like it a bit more than Scizor. No, we'll put it here. Um, it's another really cool Pokemon. Like I said, it's a fire centipede. It's got bug fire, another great sick typing. It was really rare, so I never used it. And like I said, the samurai headpiece also gets a Gigantamax, which doesn't really change its design too much like the others. It just makes it a, another centipede, but the way it scrunches up its body in its G-Max mode, making it like this little trail. I don't really know how to describe it. It looks great. So I like centipedes in real life. Creepy Crawly is one of my favorites. Yeah, it's just a good Pokemon, but they pale in comparison to Frostmoth. Frostmoth is kind of like the ice type version of Volcarona. It is bug ice, another weakness laden typing, but it's a beautiful design. It has a really good ability in ice scales, which is kind of like the special version of solid rock where no, it's not solid rock. Solid rock cuts super effective damage down. Ice scales is all special attack damage is halved. So you can assault vest this thing and become a special tank. You won't be able to get your quiver dance off, but you can fire off powerful blizzards and bug buzzes because Frostmoth has really good special attack. It has 90 special defense and 125 special attack. So you could either assault vest this thing, make it bold assault vest, and it's not really laden with weaknesses. It just has two quad weaknesses in rock and fire. It's weak to flying, rock, steel, and fire. Three resistances with ground, grass, and ice. Ice is so good and so bad at the same time. Ice needs a full rework. We need to, but the thing is, it just doesn't have any resistances other than ice, and I can't really think of anything that it could resist. I wouldn't even say water because if water isn't ice, it's gonna melt the ice. So I don't get it there. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Maybe in the future, Ice gets another rework. But Frostmoth is definitely the most beautiful of the bug types in terms of design. Nearing the end here, we have Kleavor, which is the Hisuian evolution for Scyther. And I want to put it at the top of B. Kleavor is cool. I don't think it's better than Scizor. Bug Rock got these, instead of having the sights, it has these giant stone axes, which I believe is a signature move, literally just called Stone Axe. It's the first noble you quell in the Jubilite, not Jubilife. What's the name of the forest? In Gen 4? It's not Santaloon. Let me see. No. It is the Eterna Force, yeah, the Eterna Highlands or whatever it's called. Not Highlands, but it's basically the previous version of Eterna Force with the gaps in the canopy. It's good. Stone Axe is interesting because you hit a Pokemon and it lays down Stealth Rocks, which is it or is it like the damage over time thing that they did, like the splinters or whatever? I don't know, but Cleavor is a really cool design. I used it in my playthrough. It put in a decent amount of work. I did prefer Ursaluna though, because that thing was a monster. And we're down to the final few. This one is going to confuse some people. I don't really care. Spidops is S tier. It's going to go right behind Ledian. Why is my Showdown blinking? What did you do? Apparently I opened Showdown between now and whenever. Spidops is S tier. I named mine Bravo 6, I believe, because it reminded me of like the sneaky soldier. It's got a really cool walking animation in the overworld when it just walks like a spider. It sets up traps and it's Spide Ops like Black Ops. It's like a stealthy trap setting spider. I absolutely love Spide Ops. It's not very good. Honestly, its stats are comparable to like Dustox. It has 92 defense, 86 special defense, but 79 attack and 52 special attack, and it's slow. But man, is it cool! It gets a Silk Trap special. It's its signature move, which it's kind of like Protect, and then whenever they hit you, it lowers their speed, kind of like Sticky Web. But man, it's got such a cool look. I love its Pokedex entries, setting up the traps. No one even notices they're gone until it's too late. I love Spinops. It's a basic design as well, but everything about it I love. Lokix, another Pokemon I haven't used, Bug Dark, which is two of my favorite typings combined into one yet again. It's going to the top of the A tier. Lokix is really cool. I know Keith used it. Common Rider vibes with Lokix. Um, I forgot what he named his. He named it after the Common Rider, but 102 attack, 78 defense, and 92 speed. It's got a lot of weaknesses with its typing, but it gets really good coverage. Axe Kick, First Impression, Sucker Punch, Throat Chop, Bounce. And like I said, bug dark, and when it attacks, it kicks out those blades on the back on its back onto its legs to stand up taller. Apparently, it's called Showdown mode, and that's what it uses to kick and move faster. Lokix is a great design for a Pokemon. And we're down to the final two. Next up, we have Rabsca. Rabsca's going to go behind Orbeetle. I definitely prefer Rabsca underneath Orbeetle. It evolves by rolling the little dung beetle ball around enough, and it is one of the users of the brand new move, Revival Blessing, that revives one of your Pokemon at half health. Only one PP, but I mean, it's good. It's very slow. It's a Trick Room specialty, I'd say, kind of like Orbeetle, because Orbeetle's not really fast either. But it's got a great design. It's very interesting how it takes the dung ball and when it evolves, it turns into this big psychic orb, and it is big as well. It is quite large over Rabsca's head, and I think that's gonna do it. We'll save paradoxes for later. But this is my bug list. We're going to go ahead and zoom in to full 100% here to get a good look. Is there any reordering I need to do? Let's see. S tier, Volcarona, Ledian, Spidops, Frostmoth, Beedrill, Araquanid, and Mega. That works for me. Lokix. Yeah, I think that looks good. Cleavor. Yeah, this looks good. I think all the tiers are correctly in order. So we zoomed in. This is the tier list. My first one of however many typings are on now, 16, 17, around there. 18. I have the list pulled up now. So that's going to do it for this video. I apologize. I'm not really good at live commentary. I know I probably repeated myself a lot. But I do hope you guys enjoy the video. And I will see you all in the next tier list. Until then, take it easy.